defensive tackle. I wonder how many times in his entire career he's picked up a fumble and had a chance to run it that far for a touchdown. He's still tickled down there.
First season as a Raider, last 2 years with the Dolphins. Check him out again here.
Yeah, this is great because we're going to show the speed of what he's doing. Crosby forces Stick to step up, and then Kuntz comes around and ends up dislodging the ball. And here's the big man right here. He gets his hands on it. He sees a goal line in front of him. 14.
Popped by Malcolm, who's had a gigantic night.
And I know that go with the ball. Tyreek Hill goes 22 or 23. He's going through the whole story of what he just did. Put your treadmill at 17 miles an hour to make you appreciate what Big John Jenkins just did.
Not as fast as Tyreek, but faster than Benny Hill. Loss here, and Butler makes that tackle. Downstairs. Kaylee, what you got?
Guys, I think everybody in a Raiders uniform or wearing black and silver on the sidelines has made their way over to Jenkins to love up on him and help him celebrate that moment. A couple of the guys were yelling, "We got to check the GPS. Check the GPS. You had to be going 20. They're going to be disappointed when I tell them he didn't hit 20 miles per hour, but man, they thought he might have.
17. I mean, that's not terrible.
And didn't need a pit stop. Meanwhile, Will Clapp, the center, is now down in an injury timeout in Vegas. Well, this agonizing night for the Chargers continues as Will Clapp needs to be assisted off the field on the cart. Remember, Corey Linsley was their starting center early in the season. He went on IR. Clapp has come in to start 10. And now you got Brendan Hymus, number 64. He comes in to take that spot.
Yeah, that was a big loss for this offensive line. Linsley, one of the top centers, out after 3 games.
The second down and 13. Oh, baby. Unbelievable. Jack Jones. They do it again. I mean, there are bad dreams, and there are crazy bad dreams. And for the Chargers, it's been that kind of a night.
I tell you, Jack Jones, who plays a lot more man, he just read this. When Eckler went in motion, he must have seen this in a short week, and he knew exactly what was coming. This is unbelievable. It's like he was in the huddle. Look at him jumping. He reacts quicker than anybody from the offense. It's like he knew that with that motion, this is the play they run to get it to 30, and he said, not on my watch. He just stepped right in front of it, one-hands it, and walks into the end zone.
Most points the Raiders have ever scored. 63, and you have 14 and a half minutes left in the game. Most points the Chargers have ever given up.
Remember, Jack Jones, he's a guy that has had to battle through. He was let go by the Pats. He's picked up here by Antonio Pierce, who coached him in high school at Long Beach Poly and at Arizona State. Believes in him, gives him another chance and another opportunity. And at Easton Stick, nothing he could do there. As soon as he read that, saw the formation, saw that pre-snap motion, it was a good indicator for him to jump it, and man, did he.
If you think, all right, Herbert's out, you put Stick in, who's the backup? The backup is a guy, Max Duggan, who's a rookie out of TCU, who was second to Caleb Williams in the Heisman balloting last year, but he was just elevated from the practice squad. He hasn't played a lick.
Well, right now there are just not a lot of options for this Chargers team, and at this point, obviously, other than just getting reps, it obviously doesn't matter.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they just put up the graphic that we told you about. 63 points, the most ever in Raiders history, and that's the reason for the crowd. With
14:31 to go, all they need is 10 more for the NFL record.
Oy.
Only 10.
Only right one. No problem.
It's just a big celebration. This is a team that was shut out last week against the Vikings. Tonight, a very different story for Devontae Adams, Jack Jones, the entire Raiders team.
Chargers 5 turnovers and burned after every one of them. Spiller. Remember Mills Lane, the great referee?
Sure do.
Yep. He would come in and go, referee stops contest. He'd wave it off right now. Second and 9.
It's like Diablo is down.
Yeah, Divine Diablo.
Man, that's taking advantage of takeaway, right? I mean, that's pretty good percentages.
Oh,
5 takeaways, 5 touchdowns. So you go from one game where you just want to hide from everybody to the complete opposite end of the spectrum if you're a Raiders. And now it's the Chargers.
Well, as we said, going to commercial off the scene set, it's the NFL where anything happens.
That's why they have all these big buildings out here. It's impossible to predict what's going to happen.
Ain't that the truth?
First charge timeout of the half. Las Vegas,
next week.
This is a 30-second timeout.
Home game.
Yeah. Hey, how about that?
Yeah.
The Saints and the Rams. Rams trying to hang in that playoff hunt. They're there right now, trying to get to 500 if they beat Washington this week. And we'll kick it off next week at 8:15. Pregame at 7 o'clock Eastern from SoFi. Allegiant Stadium. Well, Vegas has become a sports mecca. Remember, this is the home of, who would have ever believed it, the Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah, and they've been good pretty much from the jump. Yeah.
Yeah, beneficiaries of a very lucrative expansion draft. Speaking of that, the Spiller. So you got the Golden Knights. This town loves their champions, Stanley Cup champions. We got the Raiders relocated here in 20 when they built the stadium. Grand Prix was held here recently in November. The Aces, owned by Davis, 2 championships. Super Bowl will be played here in February. The A's are moving here. New stadium open in 2028. And a guarantee on the NBA outlook, they in Seattle will be the next expansion franchises in all likelihood. Stick throws, it's caught, and taking a pop right there is Stone Smart.
Isn't it amazing how far professional sports have come with this city?
Sure.
I mean, it was taboo. You wouldn't want to talk about it. You wouldn't want to even think about, you know, sports gambling and professional sports and everything that it's associated with. You never would have ever envisioned there'd be franchises here, and now
it's totally embraced.
Everybody's coming in.
Totally embraced.
Yep.
Moving ahead is Joshua Kelly. So the Chargers will go home. Their next game is a Saturday game against Buffalo. Then they go to Denver, and they end up at home against Kansas City. Ain't easy. What a night for that guy. 241 yards, 4 touchdowns. I think he has secured the starting spot. Second and 9. Reversing directions up to the 41. Meanwhile, the remaining schedules, as we say right there, Chargers, Buffalo, at Denver, Kansas City. Meanwhile, the Raiders go to Kansas City, go to Indianapolis, and with Denver right here.
And realistically, their only chance, it's a great night, but their only chance is they're probably going to have to sweep the 3 remaining games that they have and then need some help. Sitting there at 9 and 8.
And it's tougher in the AFC too. The AFC, you know, very heavy in terms of the dominant teams this year. The NFC's a different story. Stick. Gets out, runs, slides to a stop at the 48-yard line, first down.
Told you his legs would be a factor.
Yeah, eventually. Only took 48 minutes.
I mean, that's what I thought we would see tonight, is his ability to improvise and scramble and try to get first downs. Very different from what you're used to seeing with Justin Herbert. But as we know, this game got away from him and his Chargers team in a hurry. Down 21-0 in the first quarter.
Stick shoots it out. Juggle, incomplete, never had control of it. Asterios Davis hit there by Tyler Hall. Man, this crowd smells blood.
Yeah, they're not letting up, just like the Raiders team is.
Not at all. Like the Roman Coliseum right now. Second and 10. Running his way. Eckler, he picks up a first down. You know, we talked about the backup quarterbacks and O'Connell having a super night. You go back to Monday night, Tommy DeVito. You go back to Will Levis at Tennessee. And they got O'Connell.
Yeah, you could go to Jake Browning. I mean, it looked like Cincinnati was done after Joe Burrow went down. He has the big game in Jacksonville and follows it up with another win last week. So, you know, I think there's a premium on depth on offensive line play in the NFL, and obviously that backup quarterback.
No game. Spiller.
What we really need is an offensive line, like team's offensive line next to these quarterbacks, because I think it's a combination this year in the NFL of backup quarterback play and just seeing offensive line decimated, seems like every week.
Stick throws, and that's Palmer right there. Joshua Palmer holds it in.
Now, zone coverage, you got to be able to layer that ball in over top of the linebackers, and what a great job of showing what he's capable of throwing this football. And this is the area that he's improved the most in his 5 years. Came into the NFL as a really good athlete and a playmaker. And he'd be the first one to tell you how much he's worked on that aspect of his game. And that was one of the first chances we've had a chance to see him get the ball thrown downfield, and had to be very accurate, and it was.
Stick to the end zone, and that is hauled in for a touchdown by Alex Erickson. I tell you, you look at Stick's numbers tonight, pretty good. 20 of 28, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's almost a long way from being the story.
A long way. You know, the motion once again helps him. Whenever it comes over, watch the safety. You get motion here, watch the safety come down, and that changes the coverage. And he has to see that as the ball is being snapped, so it opens up that glance route, that kind of that skinny post there for a touchdown. So good job of seeing that after the motion. Tough thing to do for a guy without a lot of experience, but he saw it cleanly and made a great throw.
Extra point by Dicker is good. 8.5 to go in the fourth. 63-14. Who would have figured?
17 miles an hour, I think or was it 14 or 17? I think it got up to 17.
Yeah, 17.
17 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's like Formula One when they got here. He's next. A yard in. Carter takes it back to the 24. What you got?
It's been a kind of an unusual night as far as these touchdowns. You know, here's a direct snap where they end up getting some great blocks, and Brandon Bolden takes it into the end zone. Here's a little orbit motion, and we see Myers. He had 2 throws tonight. That one was for a touchdown. This is the sack by Kuntz, and Big Jenkins with the touchdown. And this play right here, unbelievable job, one-handed. Good job of recognizing that. Jack Jones takes it into the end zone, and even Mark Davis cannot believe some of these touchdowns he's seen, going all the way up to 63 points.
He's going, where was some of this last week?
No doubt.
Meanwhile, they're still throwing here. Yeah, Devontae Adams up to the 29-yard line. So in the NFL championship game, 1940, they won 73-0 Washington. 72 against the Giants and 66. Dolphins 70 this year against Denver. And the Rams back in 1950 at 70 in a game. 2nd down and 3. Buying time, throwing, broken up. Do it again. Throw the Jack Jones. James is there. I mean, they do it again. His way very much tonight. 3rd down and 3. I mean,
he's locked in that time to Devontae Adams on an option route, but the Chargers took him away. They kind of him bracketed. They had 2 different defenders on the outside and the inside. That's why he had to come off of that. And he's not the most nimble. You know, he's not a statue back there, but he is able to get away from some pressure. That time he did, and just a nice play by Derwin James.
This is the mark. Monday.
And they stop him short of the 1st down. That's Abdullah, making it 4th down and 1. And even though the crowd wants them to go for it, they will not.
There's no way they're booing.
Oh, no way. No way. They want to see it. They want to see 70.
Yeah, we still have a little over 7 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So.
That's insult to injury, though. You know, you're throwing it at this point in the game.
But with all these unusual touchdowns, you never know how they may score.
But of course,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, you can erase a 49-point deficit in 6 minutes. Caught at the 18. Darius Davis got one man to beat. He'll beat him, and Darius Davis will take it to the end zone. But there's a flag. Flag near midfield. Raiders already signaling it's against the Chargers.
During the return, holding by the return team, number 84. The penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Los Angeles keeps the ball. 1st and 10. Timeout on the field.
That's on Stone Smart and negates what would have been an 83-yard touchdown return. 6:53 remaining. There it is. There's the penalty. Pursuing. Ball at the 45-yard line.
So why do you say it? Is it just how high it goes up?
Oh yeah, but I mean it's just the whole the visuals. I mean, you know, U2 was playing and they look very, you know, tiny compared to the rest of it. It's hard to explain.
There's no
it's been
foul
written about a lot.
Yeah, how are your seats?
In the vicinity.
Very good. They were fine. By the way, there are no bad seats in there because so much of the action is above you. So even if you're nosebleed, you're still in a good place.
But you said it has to be a band, right? It can't be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
But I mean, you came out raving the next week.
It's amazing. Everybody who's been there.
You got to get over there.
There it is. They have all kinds of stuff going on outside. They have a big old eyeball that looks at you from time to time. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. But it's Vegas too. Hey.
It's out there on its own.
Just a block and a half off the strip. Not bad. Good luck parking. You got to walk over there. 3rd and 5. Stick throws caught. 1st down. Making that grab is Joshua Palmer. Tackled by Tyler Hall.
The combination of Max Crosby and a lot of the starters up front being out, and also just softer coverage has given Stick a chance to be able to operate a little bit more better and with more time. Softer coverage, just hitting a lot of these slants and underneath routes.
With a game like this, you know, Max can spend some time on the bench, which he normally doesn't do.
Probably bummed out about it.
Probably. Coming in, he played 97% of the snaps. And tonight it's probably in the 70% range. There's Joshua Kelly taking it inside the 40.
Again, I know a lot of everybody in the NFL works hard, but every time we talk to him, I'm always taken back on the commitment that he makes He even talked about how it's tough for him to go on vacation because he has to have all his food prepped, and it's hard to do that when he goes on vacation. And he is obsessive about, he said he starts around January 30th, and he cranks from there.
To the outside, getting around the edge, and picking up the first down. Joshua Kelly. Kaylee, what you got now?
Guys, I asked around trying to find the best description of what it's like to face Max Crosby on the field. Austin Eckler, who was doing it tonight for the 8th time, he said, imagine a ferocious werewolf trying to stalk its prey, which is the quarterback, and it's just nonstop until the whistle blows. That's what Crosby is. He is just relentless. And Eckler did credit his former offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, for coining that term, werewolf.
Kaylee, I'm glad you're still down there. I thought you may have bailed on this.
First down here. Everett makes that catch.
How about how he referenced going back to Rod Marinelli, who he had in his first few years while he was here. He said, you know, I don't really, I mean, I study who I'm going up against, but I'm too busy studying myself. And I you know, whether it's practice or games, always trying to look at where's a weakness, where's a strength, where can I get better? And he referenced Rod Marinelli as the guy that really helped teach him that early in his career.
Yeah, he had to turn it around. He's very open about alcoholism, all the problems he had, and he's completely come out the other side. And a flag here. Would have been Nick Van Nett moving.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 97 jumped into the neutral zone and caused the offensive player to move. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Janaris Robinson.
They're really excited about Janaris Robinson, and of course the rookie Tyree Wilson. They think that you know, Max Crosby gets a lot of attention from opposing offensive line and pass protection. Kuntz, another one. So you have 3 other guys that I think they feel can win one-on-one.
Little flip here. Spiller. And he gets slung down. Mary Burney, rookie out of Florida, 6th-round pick, is the guy who made that tackle. Under 4 to go. Some room inside the 10. Spiller to the 6-yard line.
One thing about Spiller, he will show you great patience. I think that's the area that he grew at when he was at Texas A&M. He's more of an outside zone runner. So I think he's always shown that ability to kind of just press it, wait, and then find that crease and hit it.
This is the second charge timeout. Las Vegas, this is a 30-second timeout.
Well, take advantage of the timeout to show you the playoff picture one more time. Ravens, KC, Jacksonville would host a game in the wild card round. Texans, Broncos, Bengals, Bills, right there in the hunt. NFC again. 49ers are already in the playoffs. Got Dallas, you got Detroit. Tampa Bay right now would host a playoff game.
Did you see that shot of Antonio Pierce before we hit that playoff picture? I mean, that guy is still down there, which of course you're going to see, but you don't always see head coaches showing that kind of passion. Right now he's challenging these backups to not just give up and let them score. He wants to see them fight and compete. He really went after Tyree Wilson there.
2nd down 3. Can't get outside. Spiller is stopped there. 3rd down.
You know, one of the things you think about Antonio Pierce as a player, what he was able to do, right? And he played with fire. And I think that's the aspect that he brings now as a coach that this team, especially this defense, feeds off of. Is guy's been there before and knows what it takes. And I like how he challenges them.
3rd and 3. Stick goes the other way. Touchdown. Making that grab is Quentin Johnston. So Stick, who hit Johnston for a touchdown last week, goes back to the rookie again, the rookie out of TCU. And it's their 3rd touchdown of the night.
And how about Stick there working? He's got motion here with Palmer, and then watch him work from his right. He wants to go to 82, comes off of it, looks for the check down, and comes all the way back to the left. Works 1, 2, and eventually 3 on the backside for that touchdown. Good job.
Correction, he has his TD against Detroit earlier this season, but had that long gain, their only long gain last week in the loss at home to Denver. The extra point is good. 2.5 remaining in the 4th. So we come out to the ballpark tonight, and we talked about the fact we would probably see 84 points in the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I had 10-6. That was my final. I was figuring.
But after last week when we had 31 points in the first half, as we say, you can't predict any of this stuff. You know,
no shot.
It's my old mantra. Nobody knows anything.
No one knows anything.
Everybody knows nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Except Ben.
except your dog. Oh man alive.
Well, at least the Chargers, they kind of shut it down in the first half, and then at least their offense has been able to put some points up here. You know, they're shut down at what was the score? 42-0 at halftime. They put 21 up in the second half. That's a great number right there. Last 4 games. The shutout last week against the Vikings, 46 in 4 games. Tonight, 63.
Touchback next Thursday. I told you we're going to be at SoFi Stadium in L.A. Derek Carr leading the Saints into town. Aaron Donald, of course, spearheading that Rams defense on Thursday Night Football. So funny. Last time I did a game in this stadium was the last game of the 2021 season.
I remember
The Raiders and the Chargers were meeting. The winner was going to go to the playoffs unless they wound up in a tie, in which case both teams.
I mean, what are the odds of that?
Well,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning of the game, you're thinking, the Steelers, they need a tie. It's never going to happen.
I swear to you, Chris Collinsworth and I are driving out here, and he says, what about if there's a tie? I said, get out of here.
No chance.
And in fact, in that game, Rich Bisaccia was the coach, and he was ready to play for the tie, get them both into the playoffs. But Brandon Staley had other ideas, got a little aggressive, and then Carlson kicked the field goal, and that sent Pittsburgh to the playoffs and sent the Chargers home.
I cannot believe. I mean, that's one of those. You've called so many big games, Super Bowls, but that's a memorable game because it's just
2 minutes.
Such an unlikely outcome.
And Herbert was phenomenal in that game with 4th down completions on the last drive to no avail. Right after the game, the JCPenney postgame show exclusively on Prime Video. Keith Jackson would say, oh, you're looking down at that big old hockey puck right there. So we go back to that game, which ended the 20. It was the last take of the tie. I know it. All they had to do, and here comes Carr, and, you know, they're going to run the clock out and everything. But the next thing you know, Chargers got overly aggressive. They called a timeout at the end, and Carlson sends the Raiders and the Steelers into the playoffs.
Incredible.
Another unbelievably agonizing defeat. Almost self-inflicted, though, that night for the Chargers. So 2 minutes until the Raiders can celebrate, and the Chargers, as we say, the only good news tonight is the flight home is about 45 minutes. Content to run out the clock. So this starts week 15 What about some of the other games on the schedule? Minnesota goes to Cincinnati in an early game Saturday. Dallas and Buffalo Sunday is the late window there. We got Baltimore against Jacksonville on Sunday night, and the Monday nighter is Philadelphia going to Seattle in a flex game. Some of the games upcoming on the schedule. 3rd down and 2. And that's going to make it 4th down here as White gets stopped. And Pierce is saying, what? 8 different players scoring a TD in this game. First time since 1950 when the Rams did it. Send in the punt group. Meanwhile, what a night for that man. 20 of 34, 248 yards and 4 touchdowns. And A.J. Cole will try to boom one and increase his lead in the net punting department. And that one will skip out of bounds somewhere around the 20-yard line. 31 seconds left.
Not just a big night for Aidan O'Connell, but I just think if you look at where he is in his development in his career as just being a rookie and going through what he went through last week and some of the murmurs around town and some of the media wondering. You saw even in our tees where the media said, "Is this too much for you? Are you overwhelmed?"
Right.
You know, and he just kind of had to sit there and take it, and it's part of growing up. And I think his response to that adversity says a lot about him, and says a lot about what this offense is capable of doing with him at the helm.
We gave props earlier to Bo Hardigree. A few more here for the guy who took over as the offensive coordinator. He'd been downstairs. He's calling the game from upstairs now. He's probably on his way already to the locker room to celebrate with the guys, and that's going to wrap it up. So unbelievably, a team that gets shut out 4 days ago comes back and lays 63 on the Chargers. 63-21. So the Raiders go to 6-8. The Chargers go to 5-9. And they go limping home. Meanwhile, the Raiders get ready for their final 3 games of the season with still a chance mathematically to get into postseason play. Justin Herbert right there. Tough night for Stick.